Super Mario, Super Mario, Super Mario World. Super Mario World, it's a blast from the past. Super Mario World are the lyrics.
For the Mario Brothers.
See, everyone knows that. I'm doing the Super Mario World show where they had cavemen for some reason. You know, we always everyone harps on this movie for, like, the dumbass plot that it has, but when you think about, like, Super Mario World, suddenly, like, there's cavemen. And it's like, why? Well, I guess because we have dinosaurs. But they weren't around anyway at the same time, so it makes no sense.
I barely remember that show.
I just remember the Koopa Kids were
I remember the
Super
Super Mario Brothers 3 show. And of course, the original Super Mario Brothers Super Show,
which is probably the worst. It's like, they were all awful. Anytime a new game came out, there was a show to go with it. So there actually are 2 other shows.
Remember, we did have Nintendo the cereal.
Show. Yes.
Super Mario Punch! Nintendo with a Zelda Crunch!
And they had like the 2 bags that never worked. Like, who thought of that?
The lyrics are so great. It's a cereal now, Nintendo.
It's a cereal. Wow! They changed a letter in
that goes up like a half step. Nintendo.
Anywho, let's talk about. Everyone's always like, oh, Nintendo, whatever, hasn't been that great lately and stuff like that, but it's like, man, there's a time when Nintendo just did games and sucked at everything else, and this was one
unlike now? Question mark?
Yeah, okay, man. Well, at least they're not allowing movies and shows to go. But then that kind of sucked, because we want to see, like, whatever that Netflix Zelda or whatever that was, I guess it was just a rumor, but it's like, shit, would have been amazing. But
Nintendo's like, no, that is way too awesome. We would never have our hand in
it. So, let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. Get your swag together.
Vote Koopa.
Who were the other options in that movie? Is it Vote Koopa? Who else was running?
He took over the Mushroom King.
Right, yeah, which he, like, took over and turned into fungus anyway, so what was the political... Did he just put it up so that newcomers coming in were like, oh, he must have won, because it said Vote Koopa.
Let's be honest, the political structure of the Mushroom Kingdom never made much sense to begin with.
Yeah, there's always a princess, never a king or queen.
This kingdom goes through governments more than Italy, okay? Like, every other week, there's another invasion, the monarchy is overthrown, a tyrant is installed, I mean, what is their budget? There's bottomless pits everywhere. That is a pothole problem that needs to be fixed. I mean, this whole kingdom's in disarray. It's not even worth saving.
I don't know why Mario keeps falling for it.
It is the Gary, Indiana of kingdoms. It's just let it go.
We're gonna get so many emails from Italy and Gary, Indiana. But yeah,
Gary, Indiana, I can deal with. Italy scares.
This is a movie that I think you like in terms of how bad it is more than I do. I kind of see it as a
love this movie,
but you legitimately get into
and let me make
crazy it is.
Let me make this perfectly clear. This is for me a classic guilty pleasure movie. If you ask me to just like defend this movie, I'll be like, I got nothing.
Nobody can.
No, nobody can. I mean, it's not good. But if you're just like, do you enjoy this movie? Yes. Because it is just so dumb.
Well, and what...
So silly, stupid, dumb. And a lot of that, it really gets spread kind of evenly around amongst the 3 leads. It's Bob Hoskins trying his damnedest.
Yeah.
Like, basically doing the
drunk
Eddie
off
Valiant,
his ass, apparently, as he said later.
Drunk off his ass, basically just recycling his Eddie Valiant accent from Roger Rabbit. He's like, Mario, what are you talking? Roger, what are you... And you got John Leguizamo, who just... I don't know if he's drunk or high as a kite, but he just, like, he doesn't care. He's like, woo! And then Dennis Hopper, who just is, like...
Clearly high as a kite.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper is the original kind of Christopher Walken, where it's just like, you don't know what he's... we said that, like, you don't know what he's going to do today. It's not acting.
Yeah.
But you have no idea what he's going to do today. So between the 3 of them, and just the fact that this plot is so batshit crazy, even for Super Mario Brothers, I love this movie.
You know, and the funny thing is, like, my dad was saying for years, because when we were growing up, we sort of saw and were told Dennis Hopper was, like, this dignified director and actor and stuff like that, and he was saying it's so funny because for years, people just saw him as, like, a fucking pothead, you know? I mean, Easy Rider had a following, but it's not like this classic that everybody sees now.
Thankfully, Mario Brothers brought that back.
Yeah, no, it kind of is, because when we saw it, we're like, well, what is Dennis Hopper doing in the, you know, what I must be 12 or 13, whatever, what is Dennis Hopper doing in this? I thought he was like this dignified actor, and
no, Dad... just going back to his
Yeah, no, our dad was just like, oh, it's just... kind of how I'm used to seeing him. Like, I thought this was sort of how we saw him. What's this dignified thing? But it's like, we did really see him as kind of
stretch is kind of like the Robin Williams stretch, where he did the darker films for a while, and then started going back to things like Night at the Museum and the crazier movies. And so if you had just grown up only with Robin Williams in, like, Good Will Hunting, you'd be like, well, what the hell is this? Like, but, you know, fortunately, we got crazy Dennis Hopper.
Well, okay, so John Leguizamo did a video, whatever, like the 10 or 20th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers, and
really?
Just a little like vlog thing, just saying, you know, thanks to everyone who enjoyed it. It was such a blast filming and stuff, and it's like, compare that to all the other interviews he's done where both him and Hoskins just ripped this fucking film a new one, and he was like, apparently really encouraged to downplay his improv, like no improv at all, which by God, this movie could have used some improv.
No, that's true. Because the really only funniest bit... The funny bits out of those two are just from their quote-unquote acting. It's not from their lines. The only funny lines come from Dennis Hopper.
And it's that's just how he says it, and it's so bizarre. Yeah.
Goomba!
Go Goomba! Join the other Goombas!
See you later, alligator.
Monkey. The best... Bob-omb is really funny, but
Bob-omb was my favorite, just because it's so deadly serious.
Monkey is my favorite because it looks like he just entered his second childhood. Like, there's the gates of his childhood opening up, and it's like, all you have to do is say the word monkey to get it. He's just like, monkey. Like, he's about to cry saying that. He is about to cry when he said that word because it was just so beautiful. The monkey was so beautiful.
I remember that was the one joke that I wanted was, how you could see his career implode the second he says Baba.
Yeah.
It's like this wonderful moment where, and I still stand by that everything that is Dennis Hopper's career just explodes in this nuclear mushroom cloud of amazing what the fuckedness.
See, and I thought...
Right when he says Baba.
See, and then we disagree because I thought it was that monkey, so we just put them both together and put Academy Award nominated actor under it. Yeah, I mean, for me in this... Oh, first of all, I mean, we really should start from the beginning when we saw the trailer for this, because there's no video game movies at all. The trailer for this, not the fucking I Got the Power one, that one's bullshit. The one that starts off like... you know, with it raining and the woman dropping off the baby, and there's Koopa in the rain turning with his military outfit. He's got spikes and stuff like. It's like this, and it's like, well, what is this? What's going on? Ain't what? Huh? Well, metal sign. That's kind of cool. No. What? Game. I'm like, okay, what? Like the Stallone films or something like that. It's like, you know, where's the rock? The plumbers took it, and you're like, what? It's like. Plumbers. You're like, could it be? And then suddenly, like, this big metal sign goes, Super Motherfucking Mario Brothers. It didn't actually say motherfucking, but it might as well. Because it's like, that's right, kids. We made it happen. And it's like Batman. It's like the Michael Keaton Batman of Super Mario Brothers.
I mean, imagine this is, what was this, 1992? When
yeah, something like that.
1992. Everybody in the cinema, even, like, adults that grew up playing on their Nintendo... like, just erupted. It was like,
if little kids' heads could explode, it would have. And then you see, there they are, the red and the green, and they got these, but it's mixed up a little bit, because you got these metal, boots that make them jump up into the air, and then you got Dennis Hopper, Koopa, that's weird, but whatever, he's got a fucking flamethrower, he's going, plumbers, and they're jumping through, and the music's going, and it's just like Super Mario Brothers.
It was kind of like sitting in Mad Max in its day.
Yeah,
everybody was just charged with adrenaline.
It was just an amazing trailer for what, it was the Mortal Kombat trailer, it was kind of like that reboot of Planet of the Apes. That was awful, but the trailer suddenly got everyone thinking like, wow, okay,
this could work.
I'm kind of buying
really
this.
Work.
Even, and it's like, it really was just like, you know, on paper, it's shit. And in the final delivery of it, it's shit. But in those trailers, you're actually this could work. This could work.
And
yeah, and then that opening happens with that horrible animation, and it's like, this is not the movie you fucking advertised.
Hey, so yeah, you were a bunch of dinosaurs, but what if things went wacky?
It just don't get no better than this.
There was the dinosaurs, and then I'm just like, it's like, I know. I remember looking at you, just kind of like, huh? Like, there was this kind of awkward, like, and everybody, like, there was this awkward silence. Because, like, it opened, I remember, like, there was kind of, like, this applause, and there were a bunch of kids there.
Yeah, we hear the Mario music, like, yay!
Yeah, and, like, everybody was like, yeah, psyched, and it was like fucking Lord of the Rings, like, in the day. And, yeah, then that opening, damn, you a bunch of dinosaurs, and, like, you could just hear a pin drop. There was just, like, no talking, and there was this kind of, like,
yeah, remember those half-human, half-creature dinosaurs that were there? No, now they're these Mario Paint cartoons that sound like old Paint, Jewish New Yorkers in a retirement home.
It is funny because
don't get no better than
Mario Paint, Mario Paint could have done better. I mean, we're talking about, okay, at this stage in the game, we had Neo Geo was out there somewhere, TurboGrafx 16, you had Super Nintendo and
Genesis, obviously.
And Genesis. And almost all of those really could have eclipsed the graphics we saw in the opening of that movie. That's what made it embarrassing. I'm just like, I could play something that looks better than this. Maybe it wouldn't have full voice, but I could play something that looks better than this.
Well, and back then, the effects for this were not only seen as good, but they were creative. They were like cool ideas to have, see Dennis Hopper's face disappearing in the sand, going, ha 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 ha. I mean, it's like, what the fuck
this
leads up to that?
Yeah, I mean,
this
was
gotta
just
know.
Post, like, Terminator 2 kind of abyss.
Yeah.
Like, CGI was still in that stage of, like, the T-1000 was really cool. We hadn't seen a lot like that yet.
Yeah, and they were really having fun, visually with these ideas of what you can kind of do with effects. And that's clearly all they were doing because everything else,
honestly, that effect,
nothing added up.
I honestly think that effect is still kind of cool.
Like, it's a cool effect.
When The Mummy came out, I'm still just like, wow, I feel like we've gone like 8 years since Mario Brothers and like we haven't advanced that much in some of this technology.
It's still just dust face, that's it.
Yeah, yeah, so there was concern. Major concern from the beginning, like, which I guess maybe that was the best thing the movie did because it did lower our expectations in the first minute. We're just like, okay, this isn't a bait and switch. The bait and switch already happened, the trailer looked cool, and this movie from the beginning is pretty bad.
Well, and it was one of those, too, where you're sort of watching it, and it's not only, like, you see bad movies, and as a kid you can kind of tell why they're bad. Oh, it's just kind of stupid, because this one happened, or that was a dumb thing to say, or something, or is that dumb one to say? Like, with this, it was mostly just confusion, like, just, what is going on? I just can't grasp anything going on.
I just remember sitting there wondering, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, because we had been raised on Mario Brothers since we got our Nintendo, 88? So we had like 4 or 5 years of this stuff. We had Super Mario World already. We had a Super Nintendo, and like just it was unrecognizable. I'm like, this looks like something out of Tim Burton's Batman. This doesn't look.
But I wanted that. I was actually okay with that when I saw it because I'm like, because I loved the Tim Burton Batmans, and this came out I think the same year as Batman Returns, and or around the same. Yeah,
it came out either 92 or 93.
Yeah,
Batman Returns was 92.
Yeah, and it was kind of the same reaction, except where with Batman Returns it was, I don't know how to feel, but I'm leaning towards good. Mario Bros. Was, I don't know how to feel, definitely bad. Like, just all the way over to bad.
Returns is another guilty pleasure movie of mine, but that summed up perfectly. It's like, I don't know how to feel, but leaning towards kind of like it. Whereas Mario Brothers at the time was like, don't know how to feel, but I'm leaning towards this sucks.
Yeah, like, this is definite, no mistake bad. And
I mean, the funny thing is, we could have been pretty easy. Let's see, 92 or 93.
I was ready to like this. You could have shown me anything.
I would have been 13 or 14 when this movie came out. You would have been, what, 10 or 11 or 11 or 12?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so this should have been a no-brainer. And, like, I just remember leaving very confused and...
We have very impressionable
I don't know how to even
minds.
describe it.
Yeah, no, we have very impressionable minds, and even for very impressionable minds, it couldn't get us. And that's really tough.
And we were young, like like, I was just a young teenager, and you were, like, at the perfect age, like, you know, somewhere between 11 and 12, and like...
I was drawing fan art of this, I was watching the trailer over and over,
like, so I can't imagine what kids younger than us thought. Because I don't remember that there just wasn't a lot of laughs, there wasn't a lot of... Just all these kids that were like 6 or 7, like, you know, your young kids who went in expecting Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, it was just all of this silence, just very confused kind of silence, and I felt worse for them because we were old enough that we could move on, but that had to be pretty.
They were scarred for life.
That had to be pretty bad, like to be raised on, you know, these colorful little things, and you're a 6 or 7-year-old, you walk in.
You want to see the movie?
And you're like,
wow, there's your movie. Bitches.
I thought Big Bertha was a giant fish, that's all she... No, it's just some
it's a big black lady with spikes on her breasts and stuff. Didn't you know? Connect the lines. Fucking idiots. How could you not make that connection? Oh my god. It's just, it's so bizarre, these choices. But even as
the Goombas were just little mushrooms. No, they're weird dinosaur creatures.
You know, I did a riff of this at a convention, I think in Canada, and it's funny because when I do it, I sort of go through the same motions I think most people go through, is that when it starts off, it's so batshit crazy and stupid and idiotic that you're kind of laughing how bad it is, and then you get to the world and it gets even more batshit crazy and stupid, and then it just sort of gets really dull, and you're getting tired of looking at this place, and it's just all foggy. It kind of looks like the Grinch's, you know, Whoville. It's just unpleasant to look at.
And you bring up a good point for a game that is so colorful. I mean, when I think of that is the one thing about Nintendo that they always had the kind of market on, which is bright, colorful, distracting games.
We want to get everybody,
you could argue,
including like your
Sega, Xbox, Sony, get all the dark and gritty games, but Nintendo was always kind of family friendly and like big, bright, and colorful.
It was the McDonald's.
Yeah,
so,
there's a place for that. You know, every once in a while you want, I want something goofy and that's, you know, poops pantingly easy. Like just like a 2-year-old could play this, but it's fun. And like the old Mario games are like that. All you do is jump and throw little fireballs and that's it. And to just take something so simple and like, no, we're gonna turn to like this dark Tim Burton world and this and that, and not even make that interesting.
Yeah, and just make it so colorless and kind of lifeless. But then like at the end, people start getting into it again and laughing again and stuff because all the crazy shit comes back. And you have the clan, they're in the Mario outfits. And the one thing that was kind of cool when I was doing the riff is that not even laughing. Or maybe I did. I think I said, you know, when they finally get the outfits on, the red and the green, because by God, color. You know, we finally got color, like I said, and here we go, an hour into the film, and we actually have this, or it was like an hour and 10 minutes into the film, we finally have the Super Mario Bros. People legitimately applauded. They're like, yes, by God, and there is just still such a connection to see, we want to see the Mario Brothers on the big screen, and even if it's John Leguizamo, whatever, a Puerto Rican and British man, about as far away from Italian as you can get, and not even brothers, but father and son. It's like you saw them for a second. It's like, okay, that's just I saw
that's
it.
That's the problem.
A little bit.
It's like,
I think he's Puerto Rican. I'm not sure.
It's an origin story, and it's like, can you imagine? Can you imagine sitting through Batman or Spider-Man or even Superman, and they don't put on their costumes till about the last 15 minutes of the movie?
Can you imagine like Fantastic Four?
Yeah, you know, even Daredevil, which we've been sitting through, he's running around and kicking ass at least, but like most of Mario Brothers, they're just kind of running around. There's not a lot of ass kicking. Like
maybe it's Cuban. I'm sorry, I'm really getting that wrong. Sorry. People, you son of a bitch, he's clearly... I've got it right before, I'm just forgetting that, but anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Alright, so, you know, Leguizamo was Italian, so that's great. They got that, but to get a British guy to be, you know, Mario, you know, doesn't make sense, but he could
I'm pretty sure Leguizamo is Dutch. That is a Dutch last name.
He looks Dutch.
Probably German of some sort.
But, you know, and the sad thing about Leguizamo is whenever I see him, it's like, I'm sure this guy's got talent, because I've seen him act serious and dramatic and other roles.
And he's in the right movie. I love John Leguizamo.
No, but he's one of those where it's
I even like him in this, but that's just because he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. You can tell, he just looks beaten down, like, just say the lines, you son of a bitch. And he's like, Okay, the interviews are great, because he's like, he'd just be like, so I'd improvise a little bit, the big movie, and it's obviously pretty good. Look at what I'm wearing. We're father and son and stuff, we're not even brothers, so, improvise a little bit, and they think, oh, what, do you think you're a clown? Think you're funny, you're a clown? No, you're a puppet. Puppets stick to the script. And it's like, that's what he looks like. I'm saying these stupid lines.
It was 2 directors, because you couldn't have one, but it took 2 directors to fuck up a movie like this. Okay, so I remember what I was going to say, but that's an important point, which is, as much as this is a guilty pleasure movie for me, I'm more in love with the idea of watching it than I ever am actually sitting through the whole thing. Because I have the same problem. I'll watch about the first quarter of it, and be like, yeah, this is so silly and goofy. And the same problem. In the middle of the movie somewhere, I get bored. And I enjoy this movie as a guilty pleasure. And I still get bored every time I see it. And then in that last part, I suddenly turn on again. So even as a movie that I love to say is so bad it's good, I still will fast forward like the middle portion of that movie.
It's just grueling. It's like at some point it's like, it's funny, it's Dennis Hopper as Bowser, he's not doing anything, but it's like, how long can we watch this guy not do anything? It's like, Mudbath! Who cares?
Yeah. Honestly, if it weren't for him in that role, though, can you imagine how much worse it would be?
I don't know. I'm still trying to grasp what we got. But what
about that romance, between Princess and Yoshi?
I'm sure he can do great stuff with that tongue. Yoshi was pretty much a throwaway. He couldn't get his color right.
It's almost like Super Mario World got released too late, and they're like, shit, we gotta retcon this film to throw a dinosaur in there.
Hey, Lance Hendrickson, you're walking by? Be in our movie! Okay. I just say love the plumbers and wave, right? Yeah. Okay. I was gonna be the Terminator, right? Just say your line!
I was Bishop and aliens, just shut up and say it.
Oh, what the fuck was that about?
He was probably filming Millennium or something right around then, just starting
anything better than this. But what I was saying about Leguizamo is that he seems to go for these he's kind of like Johnny Depp in that he wants to go for these colorful, weird roles. Only a couple of times does he ever actually do them well. As stupid as Spawn is, I thought he played that part fine. He's unrecognizable. But in terms of the really goofy, out there, crazy roles, I'm trying to think ones I was like, yeah, he did that really well. And not even that he's not oh, Leguizamo, you're not funny. No, he can be funny. But whatever, Moulin Rouge and actually he was pretty good in Romeo and Juliet. But I just always recall, or The Pest or something like that. He goes for these crazy. He had a sketch show for a while, I think, didn't he? Was he the star of a sketch show? Or maybe not. I thought he was.
I'm just gonna let you keep going with this John Leguizamo love and see if it gets you.
No, because when he does, because he can act. And I'll even argue most of the time does, but he clearly for a while just had this thing, I want the crazy role, I want to be the wacky guy, because I don't want to be just the good-looking guy. I want to be really crazy and really wild, and fair enough, a lot of people...
Well, who the hell knows, though, what he was being offered? You know how Hollywood works. It's like the casting directors in Hollywood and directors in general get one image of a person, that's it. You're ruined for life. You're always playing this character.
But no, it's just funny because he's a legitimately... he can do drama very well. And I totally buy it. And once in a while,
maybe they just heard his name and they're like, that sounds like a silly Russian name. Why don't we only cast you?
What the fuck else do you say about this movie? It's almost one of those where it's there's so much to talk about, it's hard to even grasp something, but it's just too much to take in.
Just for me, it's all Dennis Hopper.
He is both the best and the worst thing about it. He's just amazing to watch.
And sir, your pizza's late. No, your pizza's here.
Not now. Looks like I win. We're abandoning this joke. we did 3 build-ups. We did 3 references to it.
It's 12 people wrote the script Mad Lib style, and they didn't have punchlines for half the jokes. It's all right, but I'm not done writing this joke. Who cares? Hand it to someone else. And then they pick up where the other one left off, not knowing that there was an unfinished joke.
We'll give it to Lance Hendrickson later. The humor,
Do you think he put that on his demo reel for a show like Millennium or something? Let's see some of your work. And then, you know what, you can just skip over that one. If you could.
So Lance Henderson is now Christian Bale as Batman, apparently.
Christian Bale's like,
I love those plumbers. But yeah, it's for a film that, for a kid that saw the trailer to Batman Forever and when it came out, I was like, amazing! That's how impressionable my mind was. To not.
Well, you declared Batman Forever the best Batman movie.
I still don't know if I said.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, because that's another one I never forgave you for.
I was just so excited.
Spider-Man 3 and X3. Anytime you see a third movie in a trilogy, I never believe in you.
Ever! No, but I have come around to acknowledge that Batman 3 is, like, I don't like it now. That really was, like, I was just so sucked in.
Well, thankfully we had Batman and Robin, so at least it's not as embarrassing.
Yeah. But yeah, for a mind that, like, fell for Batman Forever when it came out, like, you could show me anything, and I would love it. I was so hyped up. For the film not even to grab me at that age was impressive. It is impressively bad.
And that's what I guess I just don't get, because, listen, I'm not saying it would have been great, but you could have Care Beared this.
Yeah.
You could have done some cheap knockoff film with just a semi-decent story you farted out at best, and aimed it for 6-year-olds and gotten away with it.
Well, they did with the show. I mean, we watched the show.
You could have just done a better animated version of the show, and gotten away with it. But to do this, it's, you know what it is? I think it's just unbridled hubris. It's ambition unchecked. That, like, no, you're gonna take this shit seriously. Super Mario Brothers ain't no game, and I just. The arrogance to think that you could do that. It blows my mind.
Like I said, the fact that I mean, again, little kid, I'm gonna fall for anything, but yeah, just the fact that couldn't even get into it at that age. I mean, so ready to see this film, so ready to fall for it. I'm like, trick me. Fool me! I am your pawn, and you still couldn't get me.
He had the movie poster.
I had the poster. I did drawings everywhere. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those, like, I would, pause at the end. I wonder who that character is. I wonder who that character is.
He still had the poster up, like, 3 years later, as if, like, he had been betrayed, and he was still waiting to believe that somehow it was all a lie. Just.
No. And even Andrew Struzan doing the poster, even the poster looks amazing. I mean, it's just them standing against an M. It's about as unimaginative as you can get, but Struzan's drawing just made it amazing. And it's like, ooh, it still hurts. Just still recovering from it. So, yeah, that's all I got. Anything else?
Koopa!
With Goombas! Go Goomba! I love that movie so much. Monkey.
See you later, alligator.